my music? Where is my music? Do I have music? Let me see. Am I going to get my intro music? Is it? No. Okay. It's not. Hello, everybody. I'm yours truly, from UNA University and UNARepublic. Hello. Welcome, 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 and welcome to my people on YouTube. Hello. Welcome to my people on TikTok. Hello and welcome. Thank y'all for joining. I want y'all to like and share and subscribe. All of that good stuff. We've got a wonderful session coming up for you today. Let me get my right image up here, please. We got a wonderful session coming up today for you. Our topic tonight is Terrence Howard, Descendants of the what? Descendant of the what? Let me fix my camera so I can make sure we in this house. All right. We got a lot to go over, and I'm letting you know, if you ever, and forgive me because I'm trying to get myself straight here. We had a few little technical issues. Let me make sure my mic is up. Can you hear me okay? Can y'all on TikTok hear me okay? And I'm not going to be able to, unfortunately, see my people on TikTok. I can't see your messages. Are you able to put the messages up for me, provide, so that I can see my people on YouTube? Because I would like to see them. Unfortunately, we got technical issues going on as usual. Thank you so much, the Lady Empress. Okay, so I'm yours truly, Deepa Reed, with UNA University and UNARepublic. All right, representing for you today. Now, if you've ever wanted to know about sovereignty or gain your freedom or understand what's going on with court processes, tonight's show is a gem. I'm letting you know right now, forget about the popcorn. Go ahead and get a pen and paper because I'm ready to break it down about this whole Terrence Howard case. All right. Let me see the topic for today. Make sure it's up. Let me see that topic for today. Terrence Howard says descendants of the slaves should not be paying taxes. Okay. We got to get into it tonight. I'm going deep, and I got time today. So we're going to do this thing. All right, let's get into this. Now, before I do this, let me introduce the membership package for UNA. All right, membership package for UNA. This is your trust documents here. They are sealed by UNA. It comes with a membership badge. It comes with a allodial ID, an allodial ID with a QR code that allows you quick access to your documents, which are on record with the county, which we will put them on the county record for you. We also provide an education with your trust. That's the most important thing. All right, trust. Now, I'm ready to get into this and help you understand just how valuable this document is, these documents and this package is. If you want the membership package, find the link in the bio. Also, you can find us at UNAUniversity.com, UNAUniversity.com. The Lady Empress says, I'm not a bot. I ordered the book because I'm very interested. All right, Lady Empress, let's go. How much? The membership package, $625. $625, and you get an education. What's going on, Shonda? Welcome, welcome, and welcome. Okay, let's get into this. Hello, Whoopi and Big Red. I wish I could see my people on YouTube. For my people on YouTube, I want you to know I love you. All right, I'm ready to get in it now. Those of us who know, this is kind of trending right now. UNA, we don't normally deal with trending topics. I mean, we keep it about the law. That's where we keep it. It's not about trying to get clickbait and get numbers. If we get numbers, that's great. But we want to make sure that the people who are here, they're intelligent, they're mature, and they're ready to hear this information. Now, I couldn't resist speaking about this because y'all know when I'm talking about these topics, it's always because it is a teachable moment. Teachable moment. Now, I'm ready to go through this case, like I said, step by step, and I'm going to break down some things that should have been done in Terrence Howard's case. All right, let me see that topic thing. Terrence Howard has had a case whereby he was in court and he has been ordered to pay $903 for taxes. All right. Now I'm going to go over also a lot of the things that you hear people saying. Oh, you're going to have to pay taxes and you got to stay black till you die and taxes till you die. And I want to clear up some things. I want to address some things that he has said, but we'll see. Tonight's show is going to be very informative, very, very powerful. What are we talking about today? Terrence Howard and his tax issues. Tonight's session is called Terrence Howard, Descendant of the Slaves. Oh, we're going through some etymology tonight. We're going through some history tonight. We're going through some law tonight. And I want y'all to take notes. Forget about the popcorn. Y'all need pen and paper. This is serious. If you've ever been curious about what's going on with taxes, with laws, with how to free yourself, you better get a serious lesson tonight. And I got time today. So I'm going to break this down. I'm going to break it down. What's going on in this case, or what should have happened in this case, and why there is this situation. All right. Now I want to introduce, before I get started, y'all know I have to talk about, and all my people on YouTube. Welcome. All my people on TikTok, welcome. I don't know what's going on with these technical difficulties. Evidently, somebody doesn't want this message to get out, but I'm gonna get it out. And I don't care if I have to say it 10 times, 20 times. I have to restart and start over again. I'm getting this message out today. So y'all better take notes. Y'all better record if you can record, because this is gonna be serious. I'm ready to put it down. And I'm aggravated, just so you know, because I don't know what the hell going on with all these technical difficulties. We shouldn't be having this many problems, but let me get started. This is a trust, all right? UNA membership package. It comes with your trust documents. It comes with your membership badge. It comes with an allodial ID, and this ID has a QR code on the back, which allows you quick access to your trust documents, which are on record with the county, all right? We also will be putting them on record for you, and you're going to get an education with this, which is most important, all right? People have these very, very powerful tools, but still don't know how to use them. But you're not going to do that here. We're going to make sure that when you get these documents, you know how to use them and you know what their power is. Now, tonight's topic, Terrence Howard, Descendant of the Slaves. Yeah, we're getting into it. Etymology. All right. Law on the spiritual side and on the legal side and on the lawful side. We're going into it tonight, and we're going into some history. All right. Welcome. And as long as this stays up, we hope it stays up. We're still having difficulties or issues or what have you, but we're going to move through it. All right. So now here you got Terrence Howard, who I'm just checking. I don't know if this thing is okay. Let me go. I don't know what's going on as far as our stream or what have you on YouTube, but okay. So you've got Terrence Howard, who had a court case recently. And in this court case, he is now owing $903,000, almost $1 million, because of taxes in the rear. Now, I need to, first of all, the first thing we hear when we're hearing this case, and I need to make this clear again, we do not normally deal with topics that are trending unless there is a teachable moment dealing with law. All right, I want to welcome everybody back. The Lady Empress, thank you for coming back. Thank you. And Lady Empress says, I'm in both rooms. Thank you so much for that. We are streaming on YouTube as well as TikTok. We're on YouTube at UNARepublic. We're on TikTok at UNARepublic. All right. So unless there's a teachable moment, we don't deal with, trending topics. But here's a situation whereby there are so many things that could have been done by Terrence, and there's so much remedy that could have been had all along the way. We're going to talk about all of those remedies, everything that's happening in this case, so that you understand what's going on, because you got people out here talking and, oh, well, we descendants of the slave, and we shouldn't have to pay taxes, and but you just gonna stay black and you're gonna pay taxes till you die. Okay, I need to dispel some myths and help you to understand where your power resides. And you don't have to be fighting with these people when you know who you are and you know how to stand. You don't have to fight with these people when you know who you are and you know how to stand. All right, so let's get into this first thing, because whenever we're hearing about this case, the first thing comes up is that Terrence Howard sent a message to the IRS when they had been trying to track him down. And the message he left was, descendants of the slave, and we're going to read the whole message, but descendants of the slaves should not be paying taxes. Let me say this, and let me get you to put the shared screen up, Prabha, because one of the problems is that we are saying things and calling ourselves things, and we don't understand that we're making a contract every time we do it. First of all, let me start with this comment about descendants of the slaves. We're not, here you go. Let me go ahead and put this up so we can see it. Then I don't have to explain it to you. You can see it for yourself. All right, here we go. What is a slave? Now, whenever you hear the term slave, we have been made to think in our minds some melanated people. Hello, Jerron, thank you for the love. Some melanated people with shackles on their hands. That's what we've been made to think when we hear the term slave. But it's important to understand what a slave is. Now, why is this? Let me say this before I go into that. Whenever you're opening your mouth, you are making a declaration. You are speaking as a God. I'm going to say this again. When you open your mouth, you are making a declaration and you are speaking as a God. So when you say you are something, then those who are playing this game legally, they're going to hold you to what you have said. Why is that a problem? Because we got melanated people running around here calling themselves things that are a legal degradation to their status. What does that mean? When you talk about, oh, a descendant of the slave, a Negro, colored, African American, African, Moor, all these other things that you're calling yourself, and you're not recognizing the legal ramification of what you have just said. So I need you to understand this. When you speak as a God, and those who are in the legal field, they know what these words mean. You don't. So let's break it down. Just break down the term slave. If you are on YouTube, you'll be able to see this. I have it on the screen here. I'll try to make it larger. Not that it's going to help, but I will read it. All right. Slave. What does slave mean? Middle English shortened Old French esclave, equivalent of medieval Latin, sclava, feminine. Now, watch this, pay attention. Slavonic captive. Watch this now. This definition from Oxford It says the Slavonic peoples had been reduced to a servile state by conquest in the 9th century. Let me make this clear because they're not. What the term slave is derived from is Slavic and Slovakian. Slavic peoples and Slovakian people. Why does that make a difference? Because who are the Slavic peoples? Because I looked up, this is what I looked up. I looked up Slavonic people. And then it says, oh, do you mean Slavic people? Okay, well, what is Slavic people? Customarily, Slavs are subdivided into East Slavs, chiefly Russians, Ukrainians, Belarusians, West Slavs, chiefly Poles, Czechs, Slovaks, and Wends or Sorbs, and South Slavs, chiefly Serbs, Croats, as in Croatians, Bosnians, Slovenes, Macedonians, and Montenegrins. What did I just say? I did not name not one melanated group. Not one. Here we go. These are your Slavs right here. Here you go. They don't look melanated to me. Hold on. These are Slavs. Look it up for yourself. What does that say? Slavic people. I need y'all to understand, as I've been telling y'all in history, that's why you need to come to the university so you can get the true history. When you know the true history, you stop saying things. You stop creating laws that damn you. When you calling yourself a Slavic or a descendant of the slaves, you're calling yourself one of these light-skinned people. Now, I need to make this clear. I love my light-skinned people. I do. All right. But we're going to tell the facts today. As I told you, the original slaves were light-skinned people. The original slaves were light-skinned people. The Slavs, that's where the term comes from. So why is that problem, Diva? Because you know we were some black people who was, okay, pay attention. We know they don't have any claim to this land. We know they're not from here. They're light-skinned people. See, y'all always, how so many slaves get over here from Africa? What you need to be asking is, how so many of them get over here? That's what you want to be asking. We know they're not from here. But see, what hasn't been told to us is that the vast majority of melanated people in the Americas are of America and not Africa. That so-called Indian, they look like me. The originals, they had hair like this. They was not no long, stringy-haired people. They weren't mixed-looking people. No, they look like me. And what has happened is that those people, the original people, have been told, you stop calling yourself Indian or you're going to lose your life. So when you got so many, all the ancestors that stopped telling who they were, and then they failed to pass the information on to their generation. Well, now the generations are here and they don't even know that this is their land. But watch this now. Watch this. When you call yourself something other than what you are, you have made a declaration. And when you make a declaration as that you are a descendant of the slave, what you have said, you have declared, I have no title to this land. You are a God. But then you just degraded yourself by calling yourself something. Why? Because you don't know who you are. Well, I'm here to tell you. I'm here to make it clear. All this descendant of the slaves and the African, American, and all this, stop calling yourself these titles gods. Because what you're doing is making declarations and you're damning yourself to never be standing as the God that you are. You're going to always be walking on your knees because you keep making declarations that you are less than what you are. Learn who you are and stop taking on these titles. I'm going on because if y'all want to hear me go through all of these different titles, black, colored, Negro, African American. And by the way, I don't just tell you about it. I'm showing you proof. Go and find the session I did on Don't Call Me Black, or find the session I did on names melanated people should not be taking or should not be using. Go and find those. They're on YouTube, on UNARepublic. Find it, because that's where I break down every last one of these words, what their origin is, where they came from, and why you don't want to be using them. All right, let me continue, because that's one of the first things that I saw. He's calling himself something that degrades his status. I want to welcome everybody. I want to ask you to please like and share, subscribe, all my people on YouTube. I want you to know I love you. I thank you. Thank everybody for your patience and waiting with me. So now let me get into this, because I want to run. And by the way, I'm running this. We're streaming on UNARepublic on YouTube. So you're going to get a better vision of these images that I'm putting up if you catch us over there. Now, I want to go into this article. Let's go into this article. Now, I got this article from Philadelphia Inquirer. All right, and in this article, and let me get my friend back up here. In this article, it talks about Terrence's case. All right, and it's breaking down what happened. So we're going to go through this article and let's break down what happened in this case. All right. It says, Philadelphia Inquirer says, Empire star Terrence Howard hit with nearly $1 million judgment after saying it's immoral to tax descendants of slaves. Okay, we already talked about what descendants of slaves are and why he shouldn't use that title. Now, as I was going through this, what I'm noticing is that our ignorance of the law is what keeps us from going to another level. No, you don't have to pay taxes. You don't. But we're going to understand what has happened in this case and why he's in this situation. We're also going to understand what his remedies are all along the way. From the beginning to where he is now, he has remedy. He has to know law. Y'all get ready to learn law. Take notes and pay attention. Now, again, I told you all, everybody who's watched these sessions, I told you you're going to pay. All right. Either you're going to pay attention now, or you're going to pay with some blood, sweat, and tears, or you're going to pay a whole bunch of Federal Reserve notes and maybe go to prison, one way or the other. All right. The 54-year-old actor, whose last known address in Plymouth meeting, failed to respond to a lawsuit filed in Philadelphia seeking to recoup hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes he owed. Now, pay attention to what this just said. He failed to respond. My students, I drilled this in them. You don't fail to respond, ever. You respond. Why? Because when you don't respond, you agree. Y'all ain't heard me. Y'all didn't hear me. When you fail to respond, you have agreed that you owe it. This is called tacit assent. T-A-C-I-T. Assent, A-S-S-E-N-T, tacit assent. When you don't respond, I need y'all to understand something. Y'all get sued on a regular basis, at least once a month, because the car people sending you a bill, the gas, light, water people, they sending you a bill, the mortgage company sending you a bill. They are suing you every time. That bill that they send you, it is a court of law. Pay attention to what I'm going to tell you. It's called the administrative process. I hope y'all taking notes. It's going to be on the test. Administrative process. What is the administrative process? This is a private lawsuit. Understand this. A lawsuit on the private side is more powerful than the lawsuit on the public side. Y'all think when you walk into this courtroom, oh, that's court. No, court started when they sent you that first notice. That was a lawsuit to sue you. You didn't look at it as a lawsuit. You're like, oh, this is just a bill. No, it's a lawsuit. Because when you don't respond to that bill, then you have agreed that you owe that money. But as soon as you send to the water company, light company, I don't owe you this. Well, there's a dispute and they can't even cut your services off legally. Didn't know that. That's part of law. Because the truth be told, you're supposed to have lights, water, gas. All that's supposed to be done for you. But when they send you that notice and you don't respond, they're suing you for the rights to take away your rights. I'm gonna say it again. When you don't respond to this notice, this bill, this court of law, this contract, this lawsuit, when you don't respond to it, you have agreed that you owe it. So when they're sending him all of these notices and they're saying, hey, Mr. Howard, you said you owe me. See, what happened is he agreed from the beginning because he signed a document. We're gonna look it up. I'm gonna show it to you in a few seconds. But he agreed to pay it. And because he agreed, now they're coming after him for the funds. It's like, Mr. Howard, you know you agreed to pay us $903,000. And y'all thinking, no, but he didn't agree because he didn't say anything. By law, when you don't say anything, you're saying I agree. Okay? So now, he's failed to respond. This means that he's agreed to the $900,000. And then there's something else that he did that I need to show you so that y'all understand why they're coming after him. Because you don't have to pay taxes. But when you say, I'm going to pay taxes, and you signed your name on it, you're going to either do two things. You're going to either rescind the contract, or you're going to pay it. But see, we're going to go into this. See, y'all think money is these Federal Reserve notes. Money doesn't exist. But money is all around you. That's the duality of it. Money doesn't exist, but money is all around you. Well, Diva, stop talking in riddles. Can you tell us what's really going on? Okay, pay attention. Pay attention. Y'all remember on Matrix, that little boy, and he said, what you gotta understand is that the spoon doesn't really exist. You have to bend your mind, and then the spoon starts to bend. You have to bend your mind, and then the spoon starts to bend. See, as we go through this, I'm going to help you understand that $900,000 has always been there. It's always been there. It's in his face. It's in his face. And I'm going to show you where it is and where the remedy is. Pay attention. A federal judge in Philadelphia has ordered Academy Award nominated actor Terrence Howard to pay nearly $1 million in back taxes, interest, and penalties after he allegedly threatened the Justice Department lawyer and maintained that it was immoral for the United States government to charge taxes to descendants of the slaves. All right. For more than a year, the 54-year-old star TV hit Empire, who last listed address in Plymouth meeting, rebuffed IRS efforts to collect $578,000 in income taxes. It says he failed to pay between 2010 and 2019. Now, let me go into something. He was visited at his last listed address in Plymouth meeting. Let me make this clear to you, and this is one of the things that I drill also into my students. We do not do business or put our address where we lay our head on any kind of business document. Let us be clear here. When you are out here operating in this public, you are doing business every time. And we do not put any kind of address where we're laying our head on any kind of business document for no reason, because that gives people clues that they can come get you. We're not going into that on this session, but we don't put our address where we lay our heads when we're doing business out here in the public. That's the first thing. This is why you need to be in class. Secondly, in this paragraph, it says he failed to pay taxes between 2010 and 2019. Let me show y'all something. All right. Terrence filed taxes, and that's where the first issue comes up. So let me pull this up, because I pulled up the court case. This is a federal court case, and it is in, I told you I had time today. Y'all better have pen and paper. You don't have time to chew, because I'm going through this. I'm going to break it down. You need to know what's real about this case and what's going on. So I took the liberty of downloading the court case, and I want to show you something very interesting on this court case. So now, this is in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania. So watch it. And I'm going to come back to all this stuff up here at the top. I'm going to come back to this. But it's got the United States of America suing Terrence Howard. Now, I need y'all to understand something. This is a private corporation right here. They want y'all to think this is the country. That's a private corporation owned by Britain. And if you don't know the difference between the United States of America, all capital letter, U.S. corporation, upper and lowercase United States of, then I need you to go find the session on UNARepublic on YouTube that's dealing with the difference between the U.S. versus the United States of America. Now, this is a private corporation right here claiming to be suing Terrence Howard. Now, I told you, private, meaning, this is what I'm saying, they're not government. They want you to think this is the government. It's not. I need y'all to understand something. And it's another thing I drill in the heads of my students. The true federal government will not come after you for money, because they can't take money. It's called a conflict of interest. They're supposed to be giving you money. As a matter of fact, this is what I told you, light bill, water bill, gas bill, that comes from your Social Security estate. The United States Corporation, which also owns this corporation right here called the all capital letter United States of America, yeah, they own this, and they are contractors. All right? Y'all pay attention, because I know I'm going over somebody's head all up here. Listen, you better pay attention. If you don't know what I'm talking about, take notes and go and look it up. You're going to pay now or you're going to pay later. It's your choice. It's your choice. So you got this private corporation suing Terrence, saying, hey, you owe us money. This is their lawsuit. Now, this is in the public. This is in the public. In the private, there was this administrative process that went on. And I told you, in the private, it's way more powerful. What am I saying? Administrative process. Let me break it down. Again, I'm giving y'all, these are jewels. Diva's dropping jewels right now. Diva's dropping jewels. Pay attention. Administrative process. There's the initial contract that's sent to you. And then what we have is the second notice, and it's called a notice of fault. Notice of fault. Write it down. Then you have a third document. It's called a notice of default. So that first document is like, okay, you owe us money. And then when you don't respond, you have agreed that you owe them money. So now you're in fault. Then when you don't respond to that second one, you're in a notice of default. Okay. Then when they take you to public court, they're taking you to public court because now they're ready to get the authorities involved. Remember, this is a lower court. The public court is lower than this private court. The public court is lower than this private court. So what happens is you go into court, and by the time you go into court, basically you're already pled guilty. You're already guilty. All right? So you got to understand, this is why you always want to respond. Because when you don't, there is no argument. When you go into court and you start trying to make an argument and say, oh, well, you know what, Your Honor, I'm black and I'm a Negro and I'm a descendant of the slave and I'm colored and I'm all these things you said, you damned yourself with all of these contracts you're writing with your mouth. You are in dishonor. There is no argument at this point. There still is remedy when you know law, but you don't argue. There's no need to, because you've already won. My students know. First of all, we don't even go into court. But if we do some kind of way end up in court, well, we know again where the money is, and we're gonna get to it. All right, getting back to this court case. Thank you, Prabha. Now we're understanding this is a private entity suing Terrence Howard. Now I want y'all to pay attention to something. Let me go through this, because I'm going to come back to all that stuff at the top. This right here, this is Terrence Howard's tax returns. Let me zoom in on this as much as I can. All right. I know my people on TikTok, it's hard for you to see this, but I'm showing you, and I'm going to walk you through, I'm going to speak you through it if you're on TikTok. In 2010, he filed a 1040, a form 1040. So this is the United States of America, or the IRS, or whomever they want to pretend to be in this particular case, where they're saying, well, this is our evidence, Your Honor. In 2010, he filed a 1040, and then he said that he would pay us $3,779, $379,000, whatever. Okay, a whole bunch of money, $300,000, $379,000. All right, that's 2010. 2011, he did another form, Your Honor, as a 1040, and he signed it and he sent it in, and the amount was $437,000. And then in 2016, Your Honor, he filed another 1040, and then the price was $14,000, and then another $7,000. It was $13,000, Your Honor. And then in 2017, he did a form 1040, and he agreed. So pay attention, because every time he does a form 1040, he's signing a contract. He's doing business. He's agreeing that he will pay these funds. I want y'all to understand something. Every time he's signing, he's creating money. Let's be clear on that. The money was always there. It's in the pen. It's when you sign things. Okay. So he signs these documents, and he agreed that he would pay the money. Now I want y'all to understand something. Let's pay attention to this. Let's look closer, because all of this is their evidence. The reason why they're coming after him is because he agreed. He said, I would pay all this. When did he agree? When he signed the 1040. He said, I'm going to pay you all of these funds. And then he turned around and he didn't do it. He didn't rescind the contract, nor did he pay them. Now they're coming at him, and they're showing proof that he agreed. He was doing business with them. He didn't know it. He thought he was doing, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. I have to pay. But had he not signed his name, had he not entered in a contract, had he not agreed, they wouldn't come after him. Watch this now. Because some of y'all like, that ain't true, Diva. They know how much you make, and they gonna come after you. Listen, he was contracting when he signed that 1040. This is a maxim of law. This is God's law. And it says, no one can force you into a contract. No one can force you into a contract. This is why when you sign anything and you put under threat and coercion, that contract becomes null and void. But he signed that 1040 in 2010, 2011, 2016, 2017, 2019. Now watch this now. Watch this. It goes from 2010, 2011, and then it jumps to 2016. Wait a minute, what happened to 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015? Why are they not in here? Then it jumps from 2017 to 2019. Wait a minute, what happened in 2018? They're not coming after him for those years. They're coming after him for the amount that he agreed to pay. So all of this totals up to $841,000. Plus whatever taxes they put on after that, which takes it up to $903, about $50,000 worth of taxes. What I'm saying to you is they're coming after him for what he agreed to pay. I hope y'all paying attention. I hope y'all are paying attention. Because when you don't enter into a contract with them, then they can't come after you. But the minute you sign on that 1040, I owe this much, and you enter the contract with them, well, they're going to come after you for it. And the last thing you want to do is not respond. You don't need to be having an argument and running from them. And, now they're coming after your bank account. They're coming after your wages from your job. You can stop all that too. We've shown you legally how to stop all of that. Okay. So are we clear on this? And if y'all have any questions, any comments, I want you to put them in the comment section so that I can answer them. And let me say this. When we file taxes, myself and my students, it's not about how much we owe you, because Terrence doesn't really owe this. All right. The truth is, thank you for the love, natural person. Yes, you are. Thank you for the love. So what happens is that he doesn't owe this. If he knew what to do, he would get every penny of this back. Times 2, times 3, and sometimes more than that. So listen to what I'm saying to you. When we don't know law, what they say, our people perish for what? Lack of knowledge. I'm dropping some jewels of knowledge right here, right now. I hope you're paying attention, because I got time today. All right. So we're on this. We're now understanding that they only came after him for what he agreed to pay. And that was it. It's like, oh, you agreed that you was going to pay us $841. Now we want back taxes on it. We want some extra interest on it because you didn't pay us. And I told you all, let me go back. Ephraim, hello, welcome. Let me go back up here. All right. Because now I'm talking law. I need y'all to understand something. All right. I told you the federal government can't ask you for money. If they are federal and they're telling you to give them money, it's called solicitation of a bribe. Federal can't ask you for money. These people are not federal. If I go and look them up, and I don't want to go through it because I got my little setup going here and I'm happy for right now. But look them up on Dun and Bradstreet. United States of America. You're going to find a corporation on Dun and Bradstreet called United States of America. Well, so what, devil? Okay, if they're on Dun and Bradstreet, people who go to Dun and Bradstreet go to get a number so that they can contract with the federal government. If you are federal government, you cannot contract and make money from the federal government. Let me say this again. If you are a federal entity, you cannot contract with the federal government to make money. And if you are one with a a Dun and Bradstreet number, then you truly are not federal. That means that you're not government. You ain't government unless you're federal. These people not federal. That's why they're trying to sue him. The federal government can't sue you for nothing. But this private entity owned by the United States corporation pretending to be government can. All right, I need y'all to check something else out. See, these are jewels that I drop in class. I know y'all, you know, some of y'all is going all the way over your head. But when you in class, you get it. When you really start studying this stuff, you'll get it. But I'm going to drop something on you, because what these entities do in the public is they pretend to be federal when they're truly a private corporation. Just like somebody makes up a corporation, they're just contracting with the federal government, but they're a private corporation. Now, I need y'all to understand something. I talked about the remedy and where the money is, all right? Pay attention to this. If you look, it says in the United States District Courts for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, I need you to understand something, and this is one of the things that I stress to my students. You're going to see a federal entity, and right next to it, there's going to be a private owned by the United States corporation, owned by Britain. Going to sit right next to it. And if you don't know what you're looking at, you're going to think you're dealing with federal, and you're really dealing with a private entity. So going back to this, all right? United States District Court, this is a private entity owned by the United States Corporation, which is owned by Britain. Whereas the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, well, that's the federal side. Y'all pay attention? I just dropped something so deep that it's probably just went over every. This is the federal side right here, the Eastern District of Pennsylvania. This is the private corporation that's owned by the United States Corporation. So it says in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania. See, this United States District Court is a contractor for the federal government. The United States District Court is a contractor for the federal government. Now, what's so what, Dave? Okay, we get it. Okay, so this federal thing is the private. What's the big deal? What's the difference? By law, if they're going to contract with the federal government, they've got to have insurance. Pay attention. Because now I'm really dropping jewels, and now I'm really going deep. By law, again, take notes, the Miller Act, look it up, M-I-L-L-E-R, Act, the United States District Court, if they're going to do business, they got to have insurance. What is insurance, Diva? Insurance is a bond. Well, what is a bond? Well, that's money. When you change your mind, when you bend your mind, well, the money shows up. Where's the money? When we're talking about the Miller Act, this company, the United States District Court, is a company, is a private company. And they have to take out insurance. And whose name is that insurance in? Well, that's going to be in this name, this all capital letter Terrence Howard. Now, pay attention, because the problem is, see, when I looked this case up, this case said unrepresented defendant or something to that effect. Unrepresented defendant. Well, he at least was smart enough to not have a lawyer, because for those of y'all who don't know, lawyers, their first duty is to the court to make sure that you don't do something whereby that court can get sued. Remember, this private entity here, the United States District Court, All of these lawyers that have bar numbers, they are flunkies for any court. They're flunkies. They are just as played as the defendant in a case. So the lawyer goes in there, he's got to give his bar number because he is subservient. His duties first are to the court so that he can't come back and sue the United States District Court. Now, had he gotten a lawyer, the lawyer would have had his case shut down and had him in prison locked up, because that's what they do. And then he wouldn't have had a voice. Now, but the problem with what he did is he goes into court and then they say, well, when we sound your name, say you're here, and then we're going to move forward with the case. So he goes in there and they say Terrence Howard. And he said, here. Well, what's the problem with that, Diva? Pay attention. This is a dead fictitious entity. Can y'all see that? This all capital letter entity is dead. This is a corporation. I'm not saying Terrence Howard is dead. I'm telling you that this is a corpse, a corporation, as in a dead entity. All right. So what's the big deal? He answered to this. He went in there talking as the dead entity. I need y'all to understand, as I said, only thing that shows up in court are dead peoples, because that's all they can deal with is dead entities. They cannot deal with the living. This is not his name, the Lady Empress. This all capital letter name, that's not his name. This dude his name is, I wish I could type on this thing. Hold on, let me pull up my lesson. All right, watch this. Watch this now. If you are not watching me on YouTube, too bad. Watch this now. Terrance Howard. Terrence Howard, and pay attention now. I told you you're gonna pay attention now, or you're gonna pay attention when they got you hemmed up with a case like this and chasing you all around the planet. All right. So can y'all see this? These two are not the same. Pay attention. Where is my ruler? Because I got people in the back of the class. I know they're falling asleep. Where is my ruler? Let me find it. Pay attention now. Watch this. This right here, that's the corporation. It's dead. This upper and lower case, this is the living entity. That's Terrence. Well, what's the problem, Diva? They sound the same. Well, that's what they want you to think. They want you to think they're the same. That's why when he walks up in there, he talking about, I'm Terrence Howard, and I'm a black, descendant of the slave African American, came up off the ships, and pay attention. When I told you, every time you open your mouth, you're making a contract. And when he agreed to be Terrence Howard, he took the charge. Because I need y'all to understand something. When he walked up in the courtroom, you know who Terrence Howard was? The judge and the prosecutor. That's who Terrence Howard was, not him. See, if you don't know law, you don't know what the ham sandwich. This don't make no sense. That's why you need to come to class. This is why there's the UNA University, because this law gets deep. And when you understand, it's not that deep, really, once you understand the MO of these people and what they're doing. The problem is He walked in there yapping about he a dead person. He said he dead so many times when he said, "Oh, I'm Terrence Howard." He said he was dead. "Oh, I'm a black man, dead. Oh, descendant of the slave, dead." He made the contract. He made the declaration of who he was. He went in there and said he was dead. And they don't have to listen to nothing you say when you say you dead. Okay. What should have been said. And this is one of the things, again, when I'm dealing with people who go into court, you have to know how to act. You have to understand what's going on. By the time he got to court, he just felt like he was going to go in there and argue. There is no argument. Let me say this. There is no argument. There is no argument. You are in dishonor. Because listen, because I'm going to finish reading that article. I'm going to finish reading that article. And I want you to understand that I'm just trying to give you some of the legalities that have gone on in this case, the things that he didn't do that he should have done that would have helped him. But again, I'm telling you about this because he still had remedy even at this point. Because when he walked in there, he shouldn't have been talking about, "Oh, I'm Terrence Howard." He should have said, "I'm the authorized representative." That's what he should have been saying. Because had he said the right things and he had known the right things to say, that prosecutor would have been over there sweating. Why? Because the prosecutor would have had to pay that $903,000. Prosecutor would have had to pay that $903,000. Not this guy here. Why? Because when you know law, you would know that when he walked in there, he wasn't this all capital letter entity. That wasn't him. That was the judge. That was the prosecutor. And as soon as he opened his mouth and started blabbing, "I'm the black descendant of the thing. We shouldn't have." But see, here's the thing. When you know who you are, you don't have to go through all that. You don't have to argue. Ain't no fussing. Ain't no fighting. Ain't no press conference. None of that. It's just, I am that I am. Back off. Okay. Let me continue. And again, if y'all have any comments or questions, I do want to hear them. All right. Let me just make sure that I have gone through this court case. I don't know. I enjoy, I really do enjoy these court cases. I don't like to be in them. I really don't like to deal with them. But I like reading them and knowing what's going on. All right, so let me get back to this court case. I want to make sure I've exhausted everything. So we now know that this character is a dead entity. And the problem is that Terrence Howard walked up in there talking about, "Yeah, that's me." And then as soon as he said that, he took the charge. All right. We also went over what the difference is, that this is the United States District Court. This private entity. Whereas the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, well, that's the federal side. Why does that matter? See, when you start knowing these things, you use this information to uplift yourself. All right. All right. All right. Let me go back to the article because I think I've confused you enough. Do some homework. Do some homework. All right, so the article goes on to say that despite months of long efforts to engage Howard in court after the Justice Department sued him in 2022. Listen, they just got to court in 2024. The Justice Department sued him in 2022. That's that private court I told you about that he never answered. Pay attention to what I'm saying. The actor's only response was a voicemail. This article is telling you what he did. His only response was a voicemail. That's not, first of all, I need you to understand something. As physical, true living beings, you don't have a mouth in the public. Like when you start talking to these people, they can't hear you. They can only hear dead people, and that dead entity does not have a mouth. When we, as sovereigns, respond to people, we put it in writing. That's how you respond, in writing. Just like they sent him in writing. See, people come to me and they go, oh, they don't play by the rules, Diva. They don't be play. They do play by the rules. They play by the rules. The problem is you don't know what the rules are. I'm telling you what the rules are right now. When they send you a notice, you don't go blabbing and down the black. Don't do that. You put it in writing. And make sure you know what you're saying, because when you put it in writing, you're making a declaration. The least you can do is just respond. I don't know you this and I'm not paying. Boom. Show me the proof that I owe you a bill. Say something. Say something. Respond. I don't owe you and I'm not paying you. Show me the proof. Okay. So they're saying they already sued him in 2022, meaning he never showed up in court, but it had already gone through, because now what they're wanting to do is to put a lien on this all capital letter name. Where is it? That's what they want to do now. For $903,000, they're going to put a lien on this all capital letter name. So what happens when they put a lien on that name is that they're going to collect his vessel, because he's acting as that all capital letter name. When he go into court talking, and when he on TV, and when he doing all this other stuff, and on the videos, and he's a black man, and when you're saying all these things, you're saying you're that dead entity. And so that's why they're going to collect your vessel. And I need you to understand that a jail or a prison is nothing more. It's nothing more than a bank for human vessels. I want to say it again. A jail or a prison is nothing more than a bank for human vessels. I hope y'all paying attention. All right. So let me carry on with this article. The article goes on to say that according to the transcript of that message, including in-court filings, Howard denied owing anything and threatened to shame Can y'all hear me? If y'all can hear me on TikTok, let me know. Because now I'm telling you, I've had a lot of technical difficulties just trying to get this up. And this is a very, very powerful session. I'm happy to bring it to you. Y'all better record it, because I don't know how long this is going to stay up. All right. The article goes on to say 400 years of, this is Terrence talking. 400 years of forced labor and never receiving any compensation for it, the actor said in the message. Now you have the gall to try and prosecute and charge taxes to the descendants of a broken people that you're responsible for causing the breakage. When you know law, you don't have to say nothing. You don't have to get upset. You don't have to go off on nobody. You don't have to threaten anybody. When you know the law, and this is just an argument. That's all he's doing is arguing, and they can't hear him. All right. Thank you, Lady Empress. I'm gonna have to hire you because you on the ball. I'm gonna have to just bring you onto the team. Come on, let's go. So we can get these technical difficulties, make sure they stay away from us. All right, the recording cut Howard off mid-sentence, but called the attorney back to continue. In truth, the entire United States by default become the property of the descendant of the slaves, he said. But since you don't have the ability or the courage to do it, let's try this in court. We're going to bring you down. Now, watch this now. Pay attention. I want y'all to understand that he's not too far off. It's just the way that he's saying it because he doesn't know law. He's just frustrated right here. He's aggravated. He's angry. But when you know the truth about law, you don't have to be angry. Because let me help y'all understand something about what the United States Corporation is. The United States Corporation is nothing more than a big credit union, and it's holding all of the estates of the people who call themselves citizens of the United States. Once again, the United States is a great big credit union. The United States Corporation is a credit union, and it's holding the estates of all of the people who call themselves citizens. So when your mother signed that birth certificate, she, in essence, gave almost $1 million to the United States Corporation. She invested into the United States Corporation, once again, which is owned by Britain. And you know what happens when you put money into a credit union, don't you? Anybody? Shan, that you hit the nail on the head. Shan says, I wonder why he doesn't have a trust. Thank you, Shan. He could have a trust. He could. This is why we have the education. Because let's say he got a trust, which is one of the things we offer in our membership package. But let's say he got a trust, and forgive me, my YouTube people, for the video being so dark. You know, technical difficulties, we'll fix it. Let's say he's got a trust. If he had a trust, the problem is he doesn't know how to stand on it. I told you all, you can have the most powerful tool and weapon. If you don't know how to take the safety off that thing, it is no good to you. Find the link in the bio. Master asking, how do I become a member? Find the link in the bio, and we're going to give you a free consultation so that you can become a member of the UNA University. And you can also get a membership package, the trust documents, the membership badge, the Lodial ID, as well as the education, and we're going to put them on record for you. Let me continue, because right here, as he says, that the United States should be the property of the descendants of the slaves. It is the property of everybody who has a social security number and a birth certificate. You are part owner of the United States Corporation. You melanated people, the vast majority of which you are of this land known as North America or the Americas, you are of this land. You are owner. But when you keep opening your mouth and making declarations, calling yourself Black, African American, Negro, descendant of the slave, colored, minority, Moor, African, yeah, you keep giving away your title. Stop giving away your title. Thank you, Lady Empress. I'm gonna have to buy you dinner. All right, because you own it. Let me go ahead. Now, in truth, he says we're gonna bring you down in court. So he thinks he's gonna come into court and argue, because I bet Terrence had a speech prepared for them. You know, you people are just terrible. You have done harm and broken the people. And let me say something to you, my melanated folks. First of all, there are no victims. There are No victims, not melanated people, not Albions, not the Jews, not the women, not men, not the black man. No, ain't nobody. There are no victims. There are no victims. See, when we start understanding universal law, we recognize that whatever energies we're getting, they have to do with energies that we put out. Now, I need to go back, and I told you I was going to do some history. I got time today. I'm taking my time. Because when we understand how these Albions, I just told you who the original slaves were. They were the Albions, not melanated folks. Now, Terrence might have some Slavs in his, he's kind of light skinned. He might have some Slav in his bloodline. But the vast majority of us do not. We do not have slaves or slavery. See, this was so funny. When I started dealing with this information long time ago, you know, people would do their history. I go, you know what, Diva, I researched my history. I found out we don't have any slaves in our ancestral lineage. We got Indians in our ancestral lineage. But then when I start talking to my Albion friends, one of them, she was, what was she? Italian. Start telling me about this Bible her grandmother or great grandmother, whoever it was, kept. And it had the evidence that they were slaves. These light-skinned people. Whereas melanated people do their lineage and they're not finding this. The problem is we have been mind washed. Let's put it in a nice way. And what's the problem with that? The problem is that when somebody tells you you started off as a slave and you have created this narrative in your mind, then the first thing you think, and see, here's the thing. The funny thing is, it's not the media telling you this. It's your mama, your grandmama, your friends, the folks on your YouTube feed, your TikTok feed. Albion's not saying that to you. Melanated people tell you ain't gonna never be nothing but an N-word. That's coming from people who look like you. It's not even coming from the Albion. But here you got melanated people carrying this narrative over. They're downing themselves constantly. Well, you know, they think this about, and then in your mind, you have created that. And then that's what you're going to live out. Those of us who rich and we know better, we ain't, I ain't a descendant of no slave. I'm not no African American. I am of this land. I am the original people of this planet. I am that I am. I'm God. I am the one who affects my third dimension. And the problem is some of y'all are waiting on somebody to come save you when the problem is you. The problem is the words that you are speaking every time you open your mouth. You don't even understand the vibratory frequency of even the word black. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing dark. Nothing. Y'all don't even understand who are the people who are taking over anything when you talking about black. It ain't melanated people. Somehow know I'm going to break this down. Why? Because I got time today. Black. Since y'all love this word, let's understand that it's really a newer term. And black is derived from the word bleak, B-L-E-A-K or B-L-A-E-K. Look it up. B-L-E-A-K or B-L-A-E-K. That's where the term black is derived from. And when you look it up, what you're going to understand is bleak means pale and without color, white. That's what bleak means. Look in when we do any kind of translations. When you're talking about Spanish or French or Italian, anything start with a BL and then with a K sound, it means white. Blanco, blank, on an etymological level doesn't have anything to do with something that is dark. On a legal level, it has nothing to do with skin color. It is a legal status. It means dead. It means imbecile. It means without standing. But you want to keep taking it on. From a spiritual perspective, every letter has a vibratory frequency. Every letter is a word all by itself. And then you put those letters together with a word, then it becomes a compound word. Black has a vibratory frequency that has nothing to do with uplifting you. Not to mention, anytime you hear something about black and a black, you understand who owns those? Black Lives Matter, NAACP, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, Black Caucus. Do y'all understand all of that? Even HBCUs, historically black colleges, university. Do y'all understand who runs those organizations? And again, this is not a hate. This is not a disrespect. These are facts. Jews. Those not light skinned. Those not dark skinned people. Hello, Timothy. Thank you for joining. If you all have any questions, I want you to leave a comment in the comment section. Empress, you're going to be on my team. Hello, Ephraim. All right, so now, just making sure you understand the term black, for example. The term black has nothing to do with uplifting you, not from a legal standpoint, not from a societal standpoint, not from an etymological standpoint, and not from a spiritual standpoint. You have to be clear and careful with the words that you use to come out of your mouth and call yourself. When you say I am, you are entering a contract. And as soon as you open your mouth and you say I am, whatever you say, then these people are going to hold you to it. And if it's a legal damnation on you, then so be it. They happy for you to keep calling yourself black and African American and colored and descendant of the slaves and Negro. They happy for you because they know what the real truth is. And they know that as long as you have said that's what you are, they have the right to treat you like that. You said you're nothing. You said you are lowered status. You said you're not real. You called yourself dead. And they got the right to treat you like that because you're the one who said it. I need y'all to understand there's a cosmic law with this as well. They can't do to you what you don't allow. But the moment you agree to it, the moment you say, okay, I do. And see, the problem is y'all don't even know when you agree. Y'all be agreeing, signing stuff, saying things, and are clueless about the fact that you just entered a contract. You need to learn law. That's why there's the university. All right, let me carry on so I can finish this up here. So he goes into court. He says, we're going to take this into court. And then he's just bringing arguments. And by this time, once he gets into court, there is no argument. There is no argument. He is in default. He has failed to respond legally to the lawsuit that had been sent on him back in 2011 or 12 or whenever they started this thing. Despite that vow, Howard never formally responded to the lawsuit. Listen up. Listen, this is in the article, once again, coming from Philadelphia Inquiry. They're telling you all these things that are the issue. If you're paying attention, it says Howard never formally responded to the lawsuit. He never said no. He never said, I'm not going to pay this. He just tried to go into court and make an argument. And by the time he got into court, there is no argument. I want y'all to understand something. I said this and I'm going to say it again. When there is a private court, it is higher than a public court, a private court. So when they were sending him all of these notices and trying to tell him and I'm telling you, they followed by the rules. That's why they had to chase him down. If they didn't play by the rules, they just would have locked him up. But no, they had to chase him down and serve him. Now that they have served him, what they're going to do is take him into get a lien put on his all capital letter name. Then they're going to pick him up and put him in the prison. But he can still overcome all of that and not come out of pocket with not one Federal Reserve note. All right. So what has happened is because he didn't respond to the lawsuit, he has agreed by tacit assent. And after a court hearing, this article goes on to say, last weekend in Philadelphia, the United States District Court, John F. Murphy, granted the government's request to enter a $903,000 default judgment against the actor. Default judgment. Let's look this up real quick. Let's look up what a default judgment is. All right, on the screen, you'll see it here. A default judgment, also known as a judgment by default, is a ruling granted by a judge or a court in favor of a plaintiff in the event that the defendant in a legal case fails to respond to a court summons or does not appear in court. Now, he appeared in court, but they talking about a default judgment. That's because he didn't respond on the private side. See, that's why I know something ends up in a public court. I know they didn't handle their business as a sovereign on the private side. All right. So again, I say to you, they're putting all of these terms inside of this. This is a document coming from the news media, where they're telling you, they're putting all these things in the article, and they're telling you what he did. He didn't respond, so now they got a default judgment. He didn't respond on the private side. If y'all have any questions, I want you to ask. Adrian says, we are what we are. I am who I am. I am that I am. We are many, but we are few. Thank you, Adrian. Yes. Now, so we're down here at a default judgment. Efforts to reach Howard at a number he left on the voicemail and through a lawyer who at one point told the Justice Department lawyers that he might represent the actor in the case were unsuccessful. Now, again, I say to you, it's a good thing that he cut the lawyer, because I'm going to tell you something that he needed to say in that court. He can still go back and do it. But remember, I told you there has to be insurance. That insurance is going to be in the name of Terrence Howard, that all capital letter corporation. That's his corporation. He should be claiming what belongs to him. Despite that success, accusations of failure to pay taxes have dogged Howard throughout his career. State tax liens totaling $639,000 were filed. See, he needs to know law. He needs to know law, because at least he was smart enough not to get a lawyer. Now he's in a good position, because I'm gonna tell you, and then I'm gonna close out here. If you all have any questions, I want you to leave them in the comment section so I can get to them. I want to thank you all for listening, and thank you all for your patience as we were going through whatever our issues are. And again, I apologize for the dark screen. on YouTube. The IRS imposed a $1.1 million lien on the property in 2010 of Howard's failure to pay income taxes in 2007 and 2008. In 2019, the state of California Franchise Tax Board hit Howard with another lien, alleging he owed $144,000. Ain't that a nice number? $144,000 dating back to 2010. The board named his last year on his list of the state's top 500 tax scofflaws, saying he owed $256,000 in back taxes, penalties, and fees. All right, so they're throwing all of these numbers here, and they're adding up to more than $1 million, almost close to $2 million. And I'm saying to you that money doesn't exist, and money is all around you. And in 2019, People magazine reported that federal prosecutors in Philadelphia had opened up a criminal investigation into Howard and his wife for tax evasion. All right, it remains unclear whether that probe is still ongoing or was closed without charges. A spokesperson for the U.S. Attorney's Office declined Wednesday to confirm or deny the existence. All right, since at least 2000, Howard has listed his primary residence as his home in Plymouth Meeting. Once again, we don't do that. You don't ever list the place where you lay your head as any kind of business when you're messing around out here in this matrix. What followed was that the Justice Department lawyers described a lengthy and at times exasperative effort to track down the actor. Now, again, if they're not playing by the rules, why are they going through all this to track him down? Okay, let me go back to something. I told you that on the private side, they're going to send you a notice. And if you don't respond to it, then by the time you get into court, there is no argument. That's the same thing with a traffic ticket. That traffic ticket that they're trying to give you, that is a court of law. That is a lawsuit. Court is taking place right there on the side of the road. Let's be clear about that, ladies and gentlemen. Court is taking place on the side of the road. So when they give you that document, they're going to say, oh, we just signed it. You're not admitting any guilt. You can just show up in the court. And then you show up in the court 40 days later. Meanwhile, you had 10 days to respond. You must respond. If you didn't respond, you have agreed. So you show up in the court and you think you got an argument. Well, see, I ain't run that light. And I want proof. I won't have proof because I should have been. I need a camera to show, because if there's no argument. You already agreed that you, whatever you owe them money by not responding within a specific time frame. You got, they'll say 30 days, but the general rule of thumb in common law is 10 days. And so for me, I'm having my people, you better be responding within 7 days. 7. If anybody comes at you with any kind of contract. All right. At one point last summer, the government dispatched U.S. Marshals to a hotel in Jackson where Howard was believed to be staying while shooting a movie, only to be told there was no record. I'm gonna finish this article. I just want to get to the part where he was in the house and his wife was telling the people at the door he's not here, but he was in the background cursing. A Los Angeles process server said he heard Howard cursing and swearing in the background when he attempted to serve the notice of the suit in July at a home in La Habra, California, owned by Howard's wife. The woman said that Terrence Howard was home and went to get him. The server said in an affidavit filed with the court, she returned to report that Howard refused to come to the door. Eventually, the government succeeded in serving Howard notice of the lawsuit last fall after it tracked him down at a scheduled appearance at the Twin City Film Festival in St. Louis Park. according to the records. Okay, so let me wrap this up, and I want to thank you all for joining. Getting back to this court case, here's the deal. I told you about this entity here and how they have to, in accordance with the Miller Act, they have to create insurance, because if somebody gets sued, it cannot be on the federal government. So why does that matter, you might say? It matters because that insurance is in Terrence Howard's name. This is the remedy. He needs to know the magic word. Did I freeze? Listen, if I'm freezing, and we're gonna put it together such that it's smoother, a smoother production. But I'm letting y'all know this is powerful. Y'all better come back and get it, revisit it, study it, because I just dropped a jewel. I'm gonna say this word and I'm gonna get out of here. If y'all don't have any comments or questions, if you want to join the UNA University, or if you want to get a membership package, I want you to find the link in the bio. All right, find the link in the bio, or my people on TikTok, you can leave a message and we will have a consultation. Make sure you leave your name and number. My people on YouTube, you can find us at UNARepublic.com. All right, it comes with the membership documents, the membership badge, the allodial ID, and it has your QR code on the back so that you can access your documents quickly. And we're going to put them on record for you and give you an education so you know how to use these powerful tools. Somebody asked a beautiful question. I wonder why Terrence Howard doesn't have a trust. I need y'all to understand. Somebody else has gone through these tax issues, all right? And somebody, whoever he was, I'm not going to call his name, but because y'all know who I'm talking about. But whoever, when he's around, and we know who he's around. I know, I can see it. They know these laws and they know how to get people out of these situations. All right. But that man who I'm referring to, and I'm not calling his name, he had to pay. I told you from the beginning, at the beginning of this session, I said, you're going to pay one way or the other. He had to pay. So you can either pay attention and listen to this information and go study it for yourself, or you're going to pay with some blood, sweat, and tears. He had to pay with his booty. Yeah, he did. Or you're going to pay some Federal Reserve notes like what Terrence Howard is looking like he's doing. So he's either, he might get with somebody who can help him, but they're going to make him pay. And I'm not talking about no pay attention. So either he's going to pay with his booty or he's going to pay some Federal Reserve notes. Hey, Mulder, I'm not saying a name. I'm not saying a name. So again, when you know law, you know how to handle these situations because you understand what you're looking at when you look at documents like this. When documents come to your house or come to your address, you know how to deal with them because you know what you're looking at. So getting back to this, and then I'm going to get ready to close this thing out. There's a financial instrument that Terrence Howard should have been claiming because he had been signing all kinds of financial instruments. Every last one of these. All right. Every last one of those 1040 documents that he signed, every last one of them was a financial instrument. He didn't know to claim them. And so what he should have been saying in court was subrogation. Look it up. All right. Do I have any comments or questions? Because I'm ready to get Ephraim. You better not tell me you don't know what I just said. Even Thompson, Subra, what? Even said, pay attention or you will pay with tension. All right. I hope you all have, thank you, Paris. Thank you, Paris. Paris knows what it is. Y'all check Paris out. I'm going to get out of here. If y'all don't have any questions or comments, I want to thank you. I hope that this information has served you. My purpose here is to help us get to the next level, first of all, spiritually and then mentally, because I'll say this, Terrence has some spiritual issues that he needs to clear up. Let's be clear on that. He's very intelligent. He knows about the number. I totally agree. People want to say he's crazy when he says 1 times 1 is 2, or when he says that the number 0 doesn't exist. He's absolutely right. See, what he knows and what he's learned is how those people play in this game. That's how Jewish people count. Jewish people be like this: 1 for you, 1 for me. 2 for you, 1, 2 for me. 3 for you, 1, 2, 3 for me. They know how to count differently than what you have been taught. And Terrence has caught on to that, but everybody want to call him crazy. 0 does not exist. It doesn't. There is no such thing as nothing in this dimension. But somebody has introduced that term or that thought to us, and we run off with it. And he's saying it's not right. Well, I totally agree with him. So good. He's got knowledge of that, but he needs to get knowledge of the law, and he's got to get some spiritual stuff taken care of, because he got spiritual issues, especially when I look at all of these tax returns that he's continuously signed and hasn't responded to them. Yeah, he got some spiritual stuff going on. All right. So I want y'all to understand all of this game is spiritual. This whole thing is spiritual. And when we learn how to get ourselves in order and find out how to walk in law, these people are not going to be coming at you like that. And please don't keep taking on these contracts, these terms, these names that don't even pertain to you. Black, colored, Negro, descendants of the slaves, you name it, more, even more. More is another one. African American, African, y'all is minority. We're going to stop taking on terms that give us a lowered status. If you a God, claim that. People would be asking me all the time, well, Diva, what we supposed to call ourselves, Diva? Call yourself a child of God. Did you forget about God? You forgot about God. Walk with God, and you will be amazed at the respect that these people give you. You keep calling yourself something, and they like, oh, they don't know who they are. Treat them like the dirt that they claim to be. But the minute you claim to be a child of God, this is not about religion, none of that. This is about knowing who you are. The minute you start claiming to be who you are, you're going to be amazed at the respect that these people show you. All right. I'm ready to get out of here. I want y'all to know I love you. Can you play me some music? Because I can't play me some music. I guess you can't. UNARepublic for me. There you go. All right. We're going to get out of here. I want y'all to know I love you. We're going to see y'all next time. Thank you, Bernice. Give me a hug, y'all. Bye, Paris. Oh, I love y'all. See y'all next time.